A couple weeks back, I introduced you to a really cool tool for generating worlds and building them, and today I'm going to show you a step-by-step method to create your own world using the generator to get something that you want for your game. Hey fellow Game Masters, I'm Richard Quiner, and welcome back to the Daily D20, your daily dose of all things tabletop role-playing games, helping you build your world and master your game. Now today, we're actually going to be looking at a computer screen for a while, as I'm going to take you step by step through the method that I would use to build a world map using this world map generator. It has some nuances that I learned while looking through it that I think it would be good to share with you so you can create something quickly and easily for your own campaign. So in this episode, what I'm going to be doing is actually building an island for the world that I'm working on, my world of Yindir. You're going to see the steps that I go through in creating it, and by the end of it I should have a nice little map with rivers and towns and villages and different points of interest that I can use when running the game with my players. Alright, loading into the site, you'll see that it's really zoomed in and just kind of a close view of everything. But before we even zoom out, I gotta change some settings to make sure this gives me the city that I want. So once I find my mouse, I'm going to go up here to options. I'm going to change the height map template to something a little different. I want it to be an island. I'm going to call it a low island because that just sounds more like what I want. Then I'm going to go down to the generator setting. I'm going to leave the PNG resolution is going to be 5 times whatever I have here. I'm going to leave my cell map density at 1. I'm going to change my berg count, states disbalance, and neutral disbalance. All these other things I'm going to change right now also. So the state count, I don't need 17. I'm a small island, so I'm going to drop that down to 3 just to give me some less variety of states. The culture is going to be dropped down to 2. I'm going to give each half of the island its own culture. That'll be nice. Precipitation, I'm going to drop down pretty low as well. Relief icon size, I'll actually kick that up a little bit. Why not? And you can see as I'm doing this, the relief icons are actually changing a little bit. The relief density, I'm going to leave the same. Swampiness, I'm going to drop a little bit further because I don't need it so much. And ocean layers, I like the look of the smooth 9. That just means there's more of a gradient from the island to the ocean. After I do all those changes, then it says here, new map to apply. So I hit the new map button and give it a minute to reload the page. So since my map size didn't seem to work, I'm going to change that back to 1920 by 1080 because I am going to get a big PNG size. So in this this starts default as the political view. So if I go to my layout, it says a select preset is the political map. I don't really want to deal with that right yet. I don't care about the countries. So I'm going to change this actually to height map so I can just see the elevation settings that this thing has, and you can see it's pretty low. When it's green, the deeper green it gets, it transfers into the water, so that's kind of the coastlines. The yellows, and if I go up to reds, that's the height changes to be much higher. Then after I have my height map, I'm going to go to customize. With customize, this is where I get to paint around, I get to change things a bit. I generally like the shape that I got here. I like this little extra island, but I do want to change some of the height map. I want some cliffs near the water's edge. I want maybe some higher points near the middle. So I'm going to change my height map, and I'm going to hit edit. And then this will pop up. It'll say, essentially this is saying the rivers and the countries and bergs are based on the height map. And so do you want to clear those off before you change your height map and then regenerate those? And I'll say, yeah, let's clean that up. So now I have this island that is nothing. And you can see it's just a bunch of these little cells. These square polygon shapes are all the cells that I have to affect. So over here in the brushes, I have a raise up and a lower brush. I have an equalize brush that kind of evens everything out. And then I have some other things that I don't quite know what they mean. But I'm going to use my raise up brush to raise up some areas. The other thing I wanted to show on this map is that it used to be kind of a mountain that was then cut in half lengthwise, and then the top half was flipped up on its top. So then I'm going to kind of raise up the middle. I want this to be a little higher, not like mountainous. I'm going to the dark red just because I feel like it's the easy way to make it all even, and then I'll lower it from there. Now, one thing I will show you that's really cool is they have this button. It's a perspective view, and when you click on it, it shows you another view of the map, like a 3/4 perspective view. So you can see, here's the little cliffs that I've made a little bit ago, and here's what the center of the island looks like. So you see it goes up pretty high. And this, to me, will denote that above this is the floating city that I had talked about previously. It's going to be up top, up above that. On these other little islands, I'm going to go ahead and raise things up a little bit, give it some more dimension here. And it's kind of neat to be doing this and looking at your perspective view and see the changes that happen to this map. And I'm going to get down here. And so this is just like painting. You get to paint in the terrain. What do you think your map will look like in terms of style? And if you want to reshape things, like if I want to remove these small islands here in the corner, or if I wanted to remove this little island, which I don't want to, but if I want to remove these big ones, or these even smaller cells, I can just hit the lower button and drop those down into the ocean, which is actually what I'm going to do. So then I'm still generating things, but I am having more control over the shape of the island and the actual look that I end up with in the end. So smoothing that out, I like this shape a lot more. Less things sticking out kind of in odd places, but it still has a kind of a nice organic shape. You'll see here, this is one thing I'll notice, I didn't change the cell size. I kept them pretty big, so you can look at the cells and they're pretty good size, which changes the, we'll say, resolution of the island. If I were to go back to the options menu and change this map cell density, if I drag that up to 3, each of these little cells would be a lot smaller, which would mean I could create much smoother gradients going up. But I didn't want to do that with this. So then I go complete, and I hit the complete button. So what this now did is it regenerated, you can see the height map, it still looks how I painted it, but it regenerated the rivers and some lakes and gave it a little bit of water. I didn't want a whole lot of rivers and lakes on this one, which is why I lowered the precipitation down, but I was able to get quite a few in there as well. Now, if I go back to my layout page, select my height map, and I can go to the political map, and then this will show me where the countries are. There's a small country on the side, 2 larger countries here. I got Madi and Suyogo, and then I got Sutsu. The names for me don't matter at the moment. I'm actually going to go ahead and remove the labels by clicking the label button. So as you can see, also I have a lot of mountains that were just generated by the height. We have a lot of these kind of plain lands and forests and deserts, and the relief maps just kind of fill in the blanks and make it nice and pretty for us. Now, if I go to style, I can start to change some things around if I want to change the ocean or how the border lines look. I don't want to do that because I am on a time crunch. I don't want to get too into the real customizing, but you could go in here and change out the different colors of the ocean if you so choose. Next, I'm going to take a look at the culture map to see what kind of cultural split it has. It's 2 main, no, it is 3 cultures again. Nope, this is just 2. You can see the 2 colors. We got the blue and then like the light tan. So it's 2 cultures, just how I had set before, kind of split evenly. That could be kind of fun in world building. I can decide which culture is what. Then, before I move on, I'm going to hit the Save As button, and I'm going to save it as a PNG run that down to my computer. If you get an SVG, I believe this is like a vector graphic, so you could open this in Illustrator and have kind of the unlimited zoom, but this is just a quick one I'm doing, so we are doing save it as a PNG. So yeah, this is the map generator, kind of step by step. This is my new island in Yindir. This is going to be Belmar, which is under the mountain. There will be a floating city above this, and I'm going to be taking this map, make it a little better, and use it in my world. I hope this tutorial has helped you figure out how to run this world generator and make your own world with it. I found this really useful, and it's a great tool to have in my arsenal for building a world. Now, I want you to go ahead and make your own world. See what there is in this tool, play around with it, and create something for your own campaign that you can use as well. If you like this video, go ahead and hit the like button and subscribe and hit the notification icon here so you get notified when I upload new videos every day. And of course, fellow Game Masters, I've been Richard Quiner. Thank you for watching.